Africa, home to some of the world's most iconic and vulnerable wildlife. Hunting for sport, habitat destruction, and poaching for profit has seen the numbers of these species go into freefall. It's here the operatives gather for their first mission, to expose the brutal Namibian seal cull.
Our mission here in Africa is to expose one of the most barbaric and disgusting events to happen on this continent. Around 90,000 seal pups a year are rounded up here in Namibia and beaten over the head with pickaxe handles. It's believed that many of these seals don't die instantly, resulting in considerable suffering.
The seal fur trade in Namibia is only worth $500,000 a year to the country. It is widely believed that this profit margin is a small gain for clubbing 90,000 baby seals to death. By exposing this barbaric event, Pete is hoping pressure will be put on the Namibian government to stop the cull, which could harm their $7 billion tourism industry.
The Namibian government do everything they can to prevent people from seeing this brutal event. And filming it is going to be no easy task. I've assembled the toughest group of conservationists on the planet. And we're going to get out there and kick some ass.
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
Stand by, we're at mile 72.
That'll give us 30 minutes to use the darkness to get out before they pull down the beach.
For my Namibian campaign, my second in charge is Rick.
My name's Rick Clark. I'm from Denver, Colorado.
I've been on real-world missions. That's about all I say about that.
Rick spent a long time at SEAL Team 6, one of the most elite military units on the planet.
There's a ship that's out there. How we're getting out is what we're trying to figure out.
Matt is a Marine and one of the most determined warriors I've ever met. It's going to be really hard to hold him back.
What if they had night vision?
And what if they do have night vision? Then we're compromised on the spot.
Failure is not an option. It is mission accomplishment before everything.
Stop!
My name's Jack, and I'm a Māori from New Zealand.
Safety is not in Jack's vocabulary. He'll do just about anything I tell him.
Myself and Pete, we're at two ends of the spectrum. I'm not a tree hugger, but I think with the element of danger, you don't want somebody that hasn't had that specialist training doing this stuff.
You do what you got to do. There's no rules.
The operatives have assembled at their safe house in Johannesburg, South Africa. Team leader Pete has called a briefing to inform the operatives on their upcoming mission.
So Pete calls us into a meeting. I'm pretty excited because I'm ready to get down to work. There's a rumor going around that this is a pretty risky mission. There's a lot of danger involved.
I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty ballsy plan. We're going to have to hold on to our hats on this one.
There are two areas in Namibia where the secret seal cull takes place. Cape Cross is the most famous, and as far as I know, no one's managed to film it without being arrested. The second is just south of Earthrace on the Atlantic coast. This is Cape Cross. Down here is this place called Earthrace. In terms of numbers, there's about 70,000 seals are culled there. There's about 30,000 culled down there. Now the terrain down here is quite different. This area up here, to film it really you've got to be gillied and buried in the sand. Down here, there's rocks sort of all the way around this bay. The one challenge down here is this area is actually a diamond mine. And it might be trickier getting into this area.
Pete wants to go into an active diamond mine. Going onto a diamond mine is equated to the same thing as murder as far as a prison sentence. So it's a very serious crime.
This whole thing is all restricted.
The diamond mines around here have armed guards that will shoot you on sight. Now that's just absolutely crazy.
Such a big set of balls to pull that off, eh?
Just so you guys know, they don't fuck around with that shit here in Africa with the diamond areas. Like, you very much run the risk of being shot. If you don't get shot and you get arrested, African jails are not a friendly place. Generally, one or two things happen. you don't come out, or you come out with HIV. And you pretty much kiss your human rights goodbye when you go in there.
I'm back north.
Yeah, I'd rather not go to prison.
I don't really want to go to an African prison. That doesn't sound very appealing, so whatever it takes to stay out of prison, it's probably what we're all gonna figure we're gonna go with.
Rick and Matt made it abundantly clear they wanted no part of going into the diamond mine down south. Jack, however, said he'd go wherever I told him.
If we were compromised, I don't plan on sticking around sitting on my backside waiting for lawyers to come and kick into action. It's in our blood to get the hell out of there. So yeah, just so you're aware of that.
I know how important this is to Pete. The last thing I want to do is go to an African jail. If we look at the risks and mitigate as much as we can, I'm prepared to go in there and do it for him.
Tell you what, if you pull this off, it'll go down in history.
The operatives will split into two and travel across the border to Namibia. Rick and Matt will be heading to the northern coast near Cape Cross, while Pete and Jack head to a safe house in the south.
If the government has any idea my team is going in there, we are busted. So we need to go in under the radar.
Crossing the border into Namibia shouldn't be a problem for Americans Rick and Matt.
Thank you.
But for Pete, it will be a different story. Less than a year ago, Pete was released from a Japanese prison for what they called eco-terrorist acts against their whaling fleet. He's notorious worldwide, and both the Namibian government and military try to keep activists away from their seal killing.
If Pete gets picked up, this mission is over, and we've come all this way to go nowhere.
It's day one of the operatives' mission. Their goal is to film and expose the controversial Namibian seal cull. If their mission is to succeed, Pete and Jack must first cross the border without suspicion. The plan is for Pete to cross on foot, alone. If he gets through, Jack will drive across later and pick him up.
So we're just at the South Africa-Namibia border. Namibia's about 1 kilometre that way. They may have my name down there. They've been involved in conservation for a while. I'm a bit nervous about this, actually.
If Pete gets stopped at the border, the entire mission could be over before it started.
Sweet as.
A little bit worried that he's not going to get through that checkpoint. If his name's tagged, pretty much it's game over. Right now we're coming up to the Namibian side of the border crossing. Hopefully Pete has already pushed through. Now where's our brother? Should be around here somewhere. And it looks like our friend just here.
I was pretty nervous going through there, eh? He says, how come you come on foot? And I was like, oh, I've been dropped off by some friends. And he goes, who's picking you up? I was like, oh, some other friends. And he goes, well, what's their names? Like, he asked a lot of questions, but I don't think he had me on database or nothing, but yeah, happy to be on the other side. Noticed on this side too, a lot more kind of military and stuff like that. There was, as I came across the bridge, there was like this fortified area and all these guards prowling around, so yeah, happy to be through in one piece.
Rick and Matt have arrived at their location and have already started on their first reconnaissance.
Our plan early this morning was to get out and see how many vehicles were coming into the Cape Cross area and to find out if the cull was happening.
They're perched 800 meters from the SEAL Clubber's base camp, hoping to gather intel on their security and the mechanics of the killing.
Somebody down on the beach. It's that red truck. It's the flatbed, actually. There's somebody moving around. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 trucks headed down onto the beach.
We pretty much have determined the call is happening. I've got a pretty good handle on how many people are involved with the call. Between 20 and 30 entered the beach. So I think that's given us a lot of good intel.
It definitely looks far more than a fishing boat.
It moved all the way down south, and now it's working its way back up. We're gonna have to wait for that ship to get all the way back up by Cape Cross again.
Rick and Matt suspect the ship is a military security vessel that moves along with the SEAL clubbers as they work.
Definitely getting Al's concern.
And it might be an all-day thing. We might be out there all day.
Really concerning to us because this is a pretty big ship. We're not sure if they've got high-powered telescopes or binoculars or anything like that. So now this is another threat that we have to face while we go to get footage of the SEAL call.
Sitting on a target makes me nervous.
We can see the culling activity is going right on in that area, but we can't quite get our eyes on it. So we need to get closer. We're gonna have to find a way to get down to the beach so we can film this and get our eyes on it.
It's pretty open. It's real open.
560 kilometers south, Pete and Jack have arrived at their safe house. To succeed in their mission, they will need to break into an active diamond mine.
This is a heavily restricted area, and I spent a long time looking in this region and memorizing the different valleys, trying to figure out where the seals are, where the culling happens, and where the roads go in and out.
I'll be coming in at about 6 o'clock in the morning.
Less than 6 hours from entering the mine, cameraman Alex starts to get cold feet.
Is that a mountain? We are breaking laws. We're going into a diamond area. The policy of the army there is to shoot to kill. And you hear stories about people getting caught, never seen again. Am I willing to take a bullet for this? I don't know.
I've assembled this team of hardcore military elite, but then I'm throwing this cameraman into the middle of it.
Are you ready to go, bro? You ready?
There's a lot of consideration I take into this.
Of course, and I'm not going to press you, mate. No way. I'll respect
but at the same time, I want to get the shots in.
He's a very important part of the team, but he's just a civilian, and he's like a fish out of water on this, and it's up to my team to keep him safe.
But you need to think about you, your future, your family, and if you decide it's not for you, then I respect that call. It's all good, bro.
Up north, Rick and Matt struggle to get on the same page for tonight's mission.
We were about here. These are the mounds where they've came in with bulldozers and tractors and dumped all the stuff out.
This hill you're talking about, that's the one.
The observation deck.
Well, it's on the other side of that, by a lot.
Rick and I have some disagreements on how we're gonna execute this mission. I knew exactly where we were.
Well, based on the map, southwest is where we want to go.
We've heard people have come in here before and they've been caught, and it doesn't end well for them. So we're pretty worried about being caught.
There's no way, this north, that's we want to go southwest.
The location where Rick and Matt position themselves is a key element to the success of the mission. The right spot will provide the angle they need to capture the evidence of the SEAL call taking place. If they get it wrong, they could be spotted by security surveying the area, which will likely lead to the team being arrested and taken to an African jail.
Rick, let me just talk before you keep interrupting me.
I understand, but you're not the only one here. That's the point. You want to be the only one talking. You want to be the only one talking. I haven't spoken for 15 minutes while you explained it, and I think the fucking thing is wrong. So there you go.
A lot is at stake on the upcoming mission. And as the pressure rises, so does the tension.
The worst case is, if we're south of where we want to be, then we come up the berm.
In ghillie suits, when it's in the middle of the dark, if we just lay down,
What if they had night vision? We don't know their capabilities.
Well,
if we're here first and
what
we're
if they
not
do
moving,
have night vision and we're way back there and we get out of the car, then we're compromised on the spot.
It seems like he wants to just be the boss, and he feels that because he was a Navy SEAL, that if you don't listen to him, then you're wrong. You know, I'm the instructor, I did this for however long or whatever. It seems like he, you know, he could be intimidated by me, by my, you know, being younger, and I don't know.
Rick is second in charge of the Namibian campaign and will make the final call on how the plans for tonight will progress.
Matt's directions are a little off, and that's causing me great concern. I'm just gonna have to tell Matt he's gotta go along. So hopefully you can agree and we can be on the same page going forward. We need to be there before any vehicles come and be in this. If vehicles are coming when we're walking across this, I'm aborting. Because I'm not putting everybody out here in jeopardy. That's my issue. Okay, everybody's good? Fences mended? You want to grab a sandwich?
As night falls over the southern beaches, Pete and his team get ready for the most dangerous mission of their lives. In less than an hour, they will attempt to break into an active diamond mine.
My last bit of food before leaving, I've got some yogurts and some cereal. It doesn't want to go in, actually. Like my stomach is kind of balled up and it just wants to stay in the plate. I feel like I'm force feeding myself. There'll be a few problems tonight. You know, what we're attempting is not easy, and we've got a well-resourced enemy, but we're prepared for this, and I reckon we're going to deliver.
Look at that moon, brother.
People have tried to film the seal cull up north, but I'm not sure anyone has been crazy enough to try it down here.
The plan is to leave the compound at 1900 hours and drive 8 kilometers to the coast. The team will then inflate the small boat and go 32 kilometers south to Atlas Bay, where they will covertly enter the mine.
When we got to the beach, we knew we had to get that boat built as quickly as possible.
You gotta check the center. Yeah, you're in.
Very nervous, sitting out there with all this tactical hardware there to be seen. The clock was ticking. 8:21. Just a little bit behind me.
We've arrived at the beach and we need to get this boat built as quick as we can. We've got a very short window. Any vehicles that come off that main road towards us, we're going to be busted. So we need to get in and out of there and on the water as quick as we can.
To avoid making noise, Pete, Jack, and cameraman Alex will enter the shark-infested waters and swim the last 400 meters to shore. Once on land, they will need to avoid security and find the best vantage point to get the shot of the seal clubbers when the sun rises in the morning. After months of planning, the mission to film the secret clubbing in Namibia is underway. Pete and Jack need to break into a heavily guarded diamond mine to get access to the beach where the killing takes place.
We felt very naked. All it's going to take is one car to come along that coast, or someone to spot the ripples in the water, and we're in deep trouble. I was very nervous. Have they got one patrol? Have they got 50? We just didn't know. If we get caught here, we might not come out of this. We had our gear in watertight bags, chucked it in, and we started swimming to shore. There's one thing in the world that attracts great white sharks, and that's a seal colony. And right now, we're dressed like seals.
The concern over sharks is no joke. The area is a great white hunting ground, and they commonly feed at night.
We find ourselves in pitch black darkness, swimming through shark-infested waters, illegally entering an active diamond mine. It was the scariest moment of my life.
The risk is right up there. The danger level is at max. All I'm thinking about is getting to the side of the beach.
Finally, much to our relief, we reached the rocks.
We need to get out of this gear and find a safe location as quickly as possible.
We've done the first step, but we've still got a long way to go, but it's nice to be on land. Like, we've talked about this for a long time. Finally fucking here, bro. The Kiwi has landed.
As we're getting ready to move on, we hear these jackals. Most disconcerting to have a pack of wolves following you around. And it's at that point, my cameraman decides he's had enough.
Turn the camera on yourself as much as possible. Yeah, okay.
The thought of persisting through an African diamond mine at night has pushed civilian cameraman Alex over the edge. He will swim back through the shark-infested water and return home on the boat.
Alex leaving is a huge blow, and it just adds another job that Jack and I are responsible for.
Okay.
At Cape Cross, Rick and Matt have started their mission and are speeding towards their objective.
So it's the night of the mission. Rick and I are going out to film the seal call. It's pretty exciting right now, but at the same time, it's pretty scary because we know that this is a really dangerous and risky mission that we're about to set out on.
Their timing is critical, as they have to take up their position before the clubbers arrive.
At 5:30, when you see the first trucks coming down the road, if we're not dug in on target, we're aborting. That'll give us 30 minutes just to use the darkness to get out before they pull down the beach.
We need to get dropped off and headed out towards the beach before the sun comes up. Otherwise, we're exposed wide open in the middle of the day.
15 minutes we were going to sit on site and get adjusted to acclimated to the climate. It's now just narrowed down to 3 or 4.
Out of nowhere, the tire blows up. I just told everybody, take a breath, calm down, focus, let's change the tire.
You got it. Wait, I'm getting it. Now try it.
And we know that any time now, the members of the cull are going to start driving down the same road we're on. And the last thing that we want to do is be caught with camera equipment on our way out to film them killing seals. Rick and I are in ghillie suits, and we kind of run into the darkness. So I decide we need to call somebody to come and pick us up.
Okay. Oh, shit.
You guys right?
Yeah.
Everybody cool?
Yeah. Huh?
Hey, somebody call Scotty and have him come and pick us up.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that right now.
He wanted to call them to have them come pick us up and drive us into the area. And I about blew a lid.
What? Yeah, they're on their way.
No, I don't want to. Don't tell them to go back.
Rick is in charge of the operation and decides calling in the support team is a bad idea.
Yeah, don't ever change anything unless I say.
Okay.
Time is running out. The sun is starting to rise, and the decision is made to head back to base.
We just have to abort.
The team will have to reassess their plan and try again.
Rick runs over and intervenes and basically aborts the mission at that time, which pisses me off pretty much. But hopefully we can come back out tomorrow night and accomplish the mission that we set out to do.
In the diamond mine, Pete and Jack have reached their first surveillance point. From this position, they plan to film the seal call when the sun rises.
We're on the high ground. Looks as though we've got a good vantage point. Straight down to the bay. Absolutely perfect view down onto the beach.
At 5:30 in the morning, we went out and got in position to go filming the cull where we believed the killing would happen.
As the sun came up, we were expecting to see a colony of seals. There was nothing.
I was hoping we'd be able to film the seal cull in the morning and be out that night. But now, we've got to walk around this diamond mine trying to find where the seal clubbing actually happens. This is a big place, and the clubbing can happen anywhere. You have to be in the right place at the right time.
Come on, let's go. We need to be extra careful to make sure that we are not detected. Getting caught is not an option. I'm going to flash up the black pack just to break it up a bit. If we're compromised, we can just go to ground, blend in with our surroundings.
Here's these tyre tracks, and these would be, I'd say, less than a week old. And there's been at least probably 8 or 10 vehicles up and down here, and it all looks like the same sort of tyre pattern. So something's been going in and out in here, probably a truck taking out baby seals, I think. This looks like a graveyard.
It does. There's bones everywhere. Bloody disgusting. We come across this seal graveyard. It shows us that we are on the right track.
I can smell the seals round the side and I can hear them. We finally arrive at the seal colony, and I'm reminded of what goes on here. Around 90,000 seal pups a year are rounded up and beaten over the head with pickaxe handles. The seal trade only brings in around $500,000 each year for the country. Is $500,000 really worth brutally clubbing tens of thousands of baby seals to death? I don't think so. We need to find where this cull is happening and expose what goes on here. We're just going to work our way around and just get a lay of the land and find out if this is the bulk of the seals. If so, we'll try and predict where the cullers are going to be in this pod tomorrow and see if we can film them.
Now that they have located the seal colony, Pete and Jack can set up their trap, hoping to catch the seal culling when the clubbers arrive in the morning.
So found an area just down here, which is where the vehicles turn around. So they bring in the guys, drop them off here, they go and do their clubbing. Got to be super careful here with the cars going in and out. You can already see that there's some boot prints in here, they're gumboot prints. Our combat boots will stand out like dogs will, so just being super careful to make sure we cover over all our tracks. But nice to finally be onto what these guys are up to.
Pete and Jack now face a long wait until the morning, hoping to get the shot instead of being shot themselves. It's been 30 hours since Pete and Jack covertly entered an African diamond mine on the western coast of Namibia. Yesterday's attempt to locate the clubbers was unsuccessful, but after the discovery of a large colony of seals, Pete is confident that they are now in the right location.
It's now Monday morning, about 6 o'clock. We still haven't seen anyone come in. We've seen no vehicles. So we don't know if they're going to be culling here today or not, or where they'll be culling here, but we're ready to go. As the sun came up, I started to see 2 cars coming down. So just seen one vehicle come in, haven't seen whereabouts he's gone, whether he's gone left or right towards us. And then Jack, who's over on top there, has spotted a vehicle over the other side. We watched them come down the road, but much to our heartache, instead of coming towards us, they turn right and start heading to the other side of the bay.
Pete and Jack now face an 8-kilometer trek back to the position they were in yesterday.
What we got here is fresh tracks. We're only talking about an hour, 2 hours old. Vehicles travelling in that direction, straight towards the baby seals.
You can tell it from the tracks?
You can tell that from the tracks. If they're inverted the other way, they're going out. We need to follow these vehicles, and we leg it as quickly as we can in the direction that those vehicles are going.
We covered the 5-odd miles to get to where the colours came in, and we get here and they're already gone. I know up at Cape Cross it only takes them about an hour to do their cull, and here maybe it's the same. Very frustrating. You know, we were over the other side there. We saw this place yesterday. I came up and had a look at it, and I made the choice. I figured the other place had more seals. It was more likely them going there. What might be happening now is they've gone over there and clubbing there, so just incredibly frustrating right now. We just played a game of cat and mouse with these seal clubbers, and we lost.
Pete and Jack have arrived too late, but the evidence of a brutal slaughter is scattered all around the bay.
There's these little patches of blood all over the place. Kind of every patch of blood is one of these little seals that got smacked on the head. It's probably just an hour old.
So there's a whole lot of orphans in amongst there.
Yeah.
And one mum trying to feed them all.
We may have just missed our only chance. Things are looking pretty bleak right now. The water's getting pretty tight. We've still got the day today to get through, so I think tomorrow will be our last day, and either we get something tomorrow or we go home with nothing.
Up north, Rick and Matt have received some bad news, which puts the entire mission in jeopardy.
So we're back at the safe house. A couple of guys bring in 3 different newspapers. Basically, they all say the same thing. There's activists in the area. They pretty much know we're here.
Journalists, activists from New Zealand, Netherlands, Britain, and South Africa. That's all of us.
It lists all of the nationalities of our group, and at this point, we're kind of like, you know what? At any moment, they could just storm through the door and arrest all of us.
All of them basically are parroting each other and saying that we've been compromised.
Any thoughts, any feelings? Now's the time to talk about them.
We are the only tourists in Henty's Bay.
What worries me is the fact they've named the place where we rendezvous, mile 72 campsite. I mean, that's not a hit and miss, that's not a guess, that's bang on the money.
So this is a pretty bad situation. So I just did a pulse of what was going on with the group.
This is way too accurate. Numbers, people,
places,
everything.
Takes one roadblock, they've got all the people.
Every single person spoke out that they were afraid and they were against going forward.
We shut it down. So I appreciate everybody working real hard on this, but I guess at this point we're done with the operational side here. Let's break bread and pack up and make logistics to move out.
We all kind of come out there for the same goal, to get the footage of the cult, but now it doesn't seem like it's going to be a possibility, and I'm pretty pissed off about that.
The entire mission now rests on Pete and Jack's shoulders.
Today is the day. We're nearly out of food, nearly out of water. It's make or break for us right now. We deliver or we go home with nothing.
To film the killing, Pete will have to position himself less than 100 meters from the clubbers. Finding the right hiding spot could be the difference between pulling off the mission and ending up in prison.
So Pete and myself devised a cunning plan that I was to sit at a vantage point, overwatch, and Pete was to move in very, very close to where the culling was to occur.
We've put Pete into his position now. He's in the ideal spot to catch the buggers today. As for myself, I'm now moving up to the high point to provide him some top cover.
Jack's elevated vantage point will allow him to relay information about the clubber's position to Pete.
It is so dangerous. One of those people look up and spot Pete, he's a goner. And there's not too much I can do other than watch.
Suddenly, vehicles start to appear on the horizon.
The vehicle is approximately there. It's heading our way. There's a red truck with about 8 sealers on the back. There's another van in behind. Pete's only meters away from them. I'm providing top cover. They're about to see a cull.
The seal clubbers have just arrived for their morning cull. Jack is providing top cover from an elevated point, and Pete is in position less than 100 meters from the armed clubbers.
I'm on a barren piece of rock. There's nowhere for me to hide. I'm absolutely crapping my pants.
All right, mate, get some cam over your head, brother.
It was scary as hell. All it takes is one clubber to look my way and I'm gone. The clubbers are about to start their cull and then Jack radios me.
How you doing, buddy?
I was so nervous I'd forgotten to turn the volume down and it was so loud. I'm worried I've just blown my cover. I'm starting to focus the camera. It doesn't look like they've seen me. And then all of a sudden, wow, there it is.
As the colours have already herded the babies off that point there into a little corral area. I can see them now. So they've got all the pups in one little group. They're about to fucking execute them. Oh my fucking God. Oh my God. No way. No fucking way. This is really hard to watch. This is hard to watch. I'm trying my hardest right now to hold back the tears because this is fucking bullshit. I don't give a shit if any of you think you're hard man crying. You're not here.
The guys were holding axe handles with nails. There was this carnage of dead pups everywhere. Some of them were still alive. This is an absolute atrocity, and the world needs to know about this. Right now, your bloody sealers are picking up the half-dead, blooded carcasses of these baby seals, only just come out of the womb, and they're throwing them like garbage on the back of the trailer. All done in less than half an hour.
You get all that, brother?
Yeah, I got most of it, bro. Pretty graphic.
I'm fucking fighting back the tears now, man.
There's emotions of anger, sadness. Looking at the mothers from here, the mothers are looking back at their babies who've just been smacked on the back of the head and thrown on that trailer like a bit of garbage. And I'm glad you got the fucking money shot.
Yeah, good that we come and sorted it, but this is a fucking disgrace. It's a fucking disgrace.
The Namibian government have got a lot to bloody answer for.
You know you're there to film the cull, but you can't prepare for how brutal that is. It's one of the worst things you'll ever see in your life. And to be just 100 feet from it, very tough.
Are you on something?
There was one that escaped. A small fucking high point on a pretty low morning over.
One baby that escaped out of there, mate. That's great to hear. He's back with his mum.
Hey, brother, good job, man.
Thanks, bro. Team effort. They're on the move now, over.
Roger that, mate. I'm going to provide top cover right now.
I mean, I've seen a lot, but that is right up there, you know. Defenseless baby pup seals get smacked over the back of the head and then thrown like garbage on the back of that truck.
We saw maybe a couple hundred get killed. Maybe nearly 100,000 get killed in exactly the same way each year. It's funny, having put all this effort into coming here, then getting a shot, having now gotten it, sort of worry that nothing's going to change. We achieve nothing with it.
The harvesting of seal fur is a $500,000 industry in Namibia, as opposed to tourism, which is worth $7 billion a year to the country. A lot of these tourists come to see the seal colonies. And if these people become aware of the barbaric clubbing that's happening just around the corner, I believe they'll stop coming. I'm going to take this footage to the Namibian government and hopefully we can stop this pointless slaughter.